first and foremost, I got a whole jug of Crystal Geyser Natural Alpine Spring Water. Gonna sip on the old Deuce jug. Hang tight. Oh, that's good. All right, trying to get my water intake up. Wipe it off the old mustache. Let me pull up my notes. I want to share something really quick to intro into this call. And then I'm going to be bringing somebody on that you guys are going to relate to a lot, okay? What I want to just share really quick, it's going to be really brief, is something that I've been saying for the past couple weeks. I've shared a YouTube video about it. I talked about it on Making Hay with Dre, which is our show that we do on YouTube every single Monday at 10 a.m. And we will continue to do no matter where I'm at, no matter how I'm feeling. It will be doing it until the end of time. In 10 years, maybe you're watching this and it's 10 years from now and the year is 2033. And you're like, dog, this guy's still doing this. And maybe I still have blonde hair. Maybe not. Maybe I'm just completely bald and have a big old bushy beard. Who knows? But I've been saying something that I really, really believe, and that is life begins when you escape the rat race. Okay, now let me share what I mean by this. There is a game, and it is called Cash Flow. Man, I love this game. I want to play. In fact, I think I'm going to play this game tonight. I'm going to leave it on my desk and play this tonight. There's a game called Cash Flow. Okay, it was created by Mr. Robert Kiyosaki himself, the author of Rich Dad Poor Dad. Okay, amazing game. It's like $100 on Amazon. It's worth it. Okay, the education you're going to get from that game is phenomenal. In this game and in the book, the whole premise of it is that we're all stuck in this rat race. It's also kind of like this whole concept of we're stuck in the matrix, right? And we're stuck in this rat race, which means we wake up, we have to go to work because we have to pay our bills. And if we don't go to work, then we don't pay our bills and we're on the streets. So we have to go to work to pay our bills. And we get stuck in this rat race, this trap, and we can never escape it. We never have a surplus of cash. We're always tied and chained to our jobs. And it's amazing to me, the stories that I hear and the people that I meet that are, all kinds of different ages, all kinds of different backgrounds, that were sold the pipe dream of go to school, get a job, blah, 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 blah. Some of us wake up sooner and escape sooner. Some of us wait and don't know because we're not educated and we don't know. And we end up being 50, 60 years old. And we're like, it's time, man. I should have done this 30 years ago, but I'm going to do it now. It's never too late. I am a big, firm believer that life begins when you escape the rat race. And what I mean by that is, and the concept behind this is, in order to escape the rat race, you have to escape the slavery to your job. The I have to go to work. The I have to show up every single day in order to pay the bills. And the only way we can do that is if we create enough assets that pay us passively so that our passive income, right, like our digital real estate, like our physical real estate, that income that we don't actually directly have to work for exceeds our bills. So if it costs us $10,000 to live with our house payment and our car payment and our insurance and our subscription to this and that and the rest, it costs us $10,000. The way that we escape the rat race is we get out and we create more passive income than $10,000, because what that means is now we can choose not to wake up tomorrow at 7 a.m. and show up at our job because we don't need the money. And working is now an option. It is not something that we have to do, but something that we choose to do. And the reason why I'm so passionate about this statement is because no matter what you believe, no matter what you feel like your purpose is on this earth, all I can tell you is I don't care what it is you believe. I just know that your purpose ain't to be under someone's thumb. It ain't for somebody to tell you what to wear, who to vote for, what to say, what not to say, if you can have a beard or if you cannot, what color your hair can be. You should be able to do things on your terms, if nothing else. No matter what you believe, I don't care who it is, if it's God, whatever, okay? I can't help but believe that's not our purpose, is to come here and be someone's little minion, right? I believe we're here to create. And whatever it is we're here to create, we cannot throw ourselves into, we cannot become the best version of that thing unless we buy our time back, unless we no longer are a slave to our job, unless we can fully dedicate ourselves to that thing. And some of us, maybe we were put here to make as much money as possible and to inspire others to make it. Maybe we're put here to make as much money as possible to gift other people. Some of us is to go solve this problem, that problem, do a nonprofit, whatever. Everyone might be different, and they probably are different. And in fact, they are different because we're all different. But guys, if you are somebody who right now you are at work listening to this, or right now you're thinking, oh man, I got to go to work tomorrow. If I don't go to work tomorrow, I don't get paid. And if I don't get paid, I don't live because I can't pay my bills. You have not experienced life, man. You have not experienced what it's like going to bed and just having the peace of mind knowing you don't need the money, man. You don't need to wake up. You don't need to go to sleep at a certain time because you don't have to wake up tomorrow, and you don't have to wake up in the morning, but you choose to do it because you are doing something that is pulling you, not pushing you. So I just want you guys to think about that. Those of you that are stuck in the rat race, those of you that have to show up to a job, and those of you that feel like, man, there's got to be more. There is. And it's called escaping the rat race and living life on your terms. And I'm telling you, this is a statement I'm beating to death, but you're closer than you think. You're closer than you think. You don't know how many you only need a couple of deals to be in a completely different spot. My little brother Porter, he started doing this business mid-November. He's already at $7,500 per month. Now that's not all net, but he's making, I would guess, I don't know his exact numbers, but he's making over $4,500 a month net in his pocket in a matter of, what is that, 90, a little bit over 90 days or less. I don't know the math. Let's see. November to December, December to January, less than 90 days. Okay. That's how close you really are. And 90 days is not that far away. We're already 45 days into this month. In fact, I think we're on day 45 exactly today, which means we would be halfway to 90 days. You are closer than you think. So don't give up. That's my message, is don't give up. And there is way more out there. There's way more to life than punching the clock, putting in hours. And if your whole MO and your whole game plan long-term is that you're going to be faithful to a company and get a 401k and that whole thing, you would be terrified if you heard the stories that I hear every day of people that are jumping into my program, the people that are messaging me, hey, I've been working at this company for 10 years. I just got laid off. Hey, I've been working at Amazon as a software guy for 8 years. I just got laid off. Hey, it's like, dude, you're not safe. No one is safe. Bet on yourself, bet on something that you can control. And the only thing you can control is something that you own. And as Naval Ravikant always says, in order to get rich, you have to own a piece of a business. You have to own an asset or multiple assets. That's the only way. You cannot, my friends, get rich by working for your money. So I don't care if you own your own business. I don't care if you're a highly paid professional, lawyer, doctor, chiropractor. You will never be wealthy unless you buy assets, create assets, build assets. So hopefully if you're a high income earner, you are taking that money and putting it into digital assets, putting it into physical assets, creating. That's the game plan. That's what I'm going to spend the rest of my life doing, is building, buying, and creating assets. And with that said, if you have any assets for sale, please let me know. And I want to give this quick plug. I'm actively looking for real estate. I'm actively looking for digital real estate. If you are somebody who has either of those things you want to sell, please let me know. If you are somebody who does not, but you know somebody who has those things for sale, maybe you're a friend, or maybe you have a dad that's they're coming upon financial hard times, or they're trying to free up some cash, and they're selling off some of their real estate. I'm looking. I'm buying. So bring them to me, introduce me, whatever. We'll pay some kind of a brokerage fee, some kind of a finder's fee, and start making some money that way. But I'm actively buying assets. So just remember that the next time you see a post on Facebook that says, hey, such and such commercial building is for sale. By the way, I'm mainly looking for commercial real estate. I don't care where it's at, as long as it's not some shithole place. then I am buying. And if you are selling your websites because you want to check out of this business model and go try some other thing and you're in shiny object mode, blind squirrel mode, let me know because I will take a look at them. If they are good, I will probably buy. And with that said, guys, let's get into the call today. Let's bring on our guest. That was just my little rant. I got a little Coke, Diet Coke here as well to even out the water. Let's do this thing. Okay, guys, I'm going to bring somebody on today. The topic that I want to discuss, I'm going to do a quick intro. What I want to talk about today is how to stop overthinking and start building your empire. Okay, let me pull up the Facebook group really quick and see who's on here. Okay, just real quick, 2 seconds. We've got a few new people on here. We got Herman. We got Uzair. Uzair, I see you, bro. We got Kurt. I already said you're on here. O'Malley, what's up? Brandon Schulman, what's up? Kurt, can I tag Aaron? Donna, I'm finally building out my website next week, going all in this time. Amazing. Donna, great to have you on. Honar, what's up? Honar, we had a great call yesterday inside Digital Landlords. He is hustling. We broke down his experience and some of the things that he's facing, and he's going to be cranking out deals. I have no doubt in my mind. Honar, what's up, dude? Peter Glenn, what's up? Moza, my man from South Africa, bro. We need to catch up. James, Shuba, what's going on, Shuba? I saw you yesterday in another group. Nice to have you on today. We got Isaac, we got Ryan King, and my man, Bernie White. What's up, Bernie? Been a minute since I saw you, dog. Last time I saw you, you were looking a little fuzzy to me. Not sure why. Guys, today's guest, I'm going to be bringing on. I'm going to bring him on, and then I'm going to do a little bit of an intro first. Okay. This person that I'm going to be bringing on is, well, actually, you know what? I'm going to bring him on first. Hang tight, hang tight, hang tight, hang tight. Okay. Here we go. Let me go ahead and, oh, you know what? Give me a second. Yo, person, you know who you are. Join the call really quick, or else I'm just going to keep talking to myself. Let me just go ahead and message them. They're not in the group yet. Hang tight. Okay, hold on. Hop in. Let's do this thing. Okay, while this person is hopping in, I'm going to do an intro since I'm waiting for a second. So this person, oh, there he is. There he is. Let's do it. Hey, can you hear me?
Yeah.
What's up, bud? Hey, can you hear me?
Yeah. Can you hear me?
Oh yeah, you're just mute your Facebook thing and then we're good.
Hey, can you hear me? Yeah. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Let me rename my. I'm really mad. This says that my name is Digital Landlords, and I got to change it to the King of Digital Real Estate, dude. I am offended at freaking Zoom for just not even knowing, dude. Unbelievable. Okay. So there we go. Let me make sure we're still good. We're still live. Can everybody still hear us? I think so. Let me pull this up. I think we're good. Can you see us on Facebook Live still? Yeah, there we go. Okay, Zach, can you hear us?
Yeah, we're good.
Beautiful. Okay, so guys, I got Zach, aka Z44, aka the wife beater. No, I'm just kidding. Just totally joking. Zach is actually my brother. You guys have seen me have Porter, my other brother, on. This is Zach. He's actually 2 years younger than me. And we got him on today. So Zach, I'm going to give you, actually, let me give a little bit of an intro first. And no, actually, let's reverse that. Tell these guys what you do, because you have a full-time thing. This isn't this like this. You just barely got your very first deal. So tell everyone what you do full-time out there in the working world.
Yeah, so I've been a police officer for about 6 years now. Started in Iron County. Now I'm in Mesquite, Nevada. So been doing police work in Nevada for 4 years.
So guys, if you guys have seen Breaking Bad, you should. Did you just get one?
No.
Oh, okay. Sorry. Porter just really popped his head in and started doing some kind of little dance move. I thought he got another deal. I was about to just announce it, but he didn't. So guys, yeah, Zach, if you guys have ever seen Breaking Bad, think of Hank Schrader. This is your guy right here. And if you haven't seen that show, I don't care what you're doing. That is more important. You need to go do that tonight. Okay. Hank Schrader sitting with us live. One thing that I've learned from Zack about all this cop stuff, basically what he does is babysits dead bodies. Is one thing he said to me really got me shook. He said, if you knew how many people tried to commit suicide and did some really shady stuff in hotel rooms, you'd probably never rent one again. So the next time you're sitting in a hotel in Las Vegas, think about how many dead bodies have been on that bed.
This is true. Yeah. And they'll be back on the market. Someone will be renting it out 24 hours later. So
that's ridiculous, dude. So anyway, just a side note, is there is there any hotels that are yeah, just Mesquite, Nevada. If you're ever rolling through there, just know you're dealing with, guys. If you don't remember, a couple years ago, Mandalay Bay, was it Mandalay Bay that had the shooting?
Yeah,
dude, that cat was from Mesquite, Nevada. That's where Zack is a cop. So anyway, he's got some crazy stories, but I want to have Zack on. So Zack is a full-time cop, obviously, and he has a cool setup because he gets to work, 3-4 days in a row. Then he has a couple days off, which gives him the perfect schedule to do this stuff. But I want to bring him on because unlike me, this guy is Mr. Analyze, Mr. Check out the reviews, Mr. If he's going to buy a $5 trinket on Amazon, he's going to read 4,621 reviews. If you have to buy something on Amazon, ask this guy. He's read every word of the reviews. And it really helps him in some ways. And it's also kind of a stumbling block in some ways because he can get in his head and he can overthink stuff. And so I wanted to bring him on. He just barely landed his first deal. Tell these guys, you don't have to tell them the area, but tell them the niche, the amount, and maybe, tell them the niche and the amount. That's what I want to know.
Yeah. So first deal landed, it's concrete, and it got him for $375 a week, 6-month contract.
Amazing.
So, yeah.
So he did it. One thing that we were talking about today, we went to lunch, and he said that this is another thing you were kind of overthinking, is you're like, man, I kind of was worried about that they might, when I brought up contract, maybe they would, throw a fit or whatever. And did the guy say a word?
No, and the contract was actually a big one. So I preemptively, just like you teach, preemptively brought up the objection first. And I feel like I sold that area pretty good. And I almost led it to, yeah, we used to do 12-month, but sorry, I don't offer that anymore because we've, ran into problems having, we want to switch business owners or just find it's not a good fit. And I feel like that wasn't even a concern because he kind of had in his mind, well, shit, most people are wanting 12-month, but he's only going to give me a 6-month. So yeah, didn't bat an eye at the contract, anything.
This just came to my mind. So as he just said, sometimes these things that we get in our heads, we think are going to be a big deal. And then what happens is we realize it's not a big deal at all. We get good at bringing it up and it actually becomes like a strength. I remember Zack, so our other brother Porter has no sales experience. Zack did. I drug him into the door-to-door world for 1 year. He was smart enough to only do it for 1 year before he got the hell out. I wasn't, but I remember he would have people like cooking him dinner. He was like paying him money to install his system. He was playing the ultra. He is the king of the pullback right here, dating all the way back to his high school love life. So we won't get into that just yet, but it's coming. So stay on this call. So dude, tell us real quick, because I know the answer to this, but tell everyone, was the close harder, easier? Like, what did you think it was going to be like, and how was it actually like?
Yeah. So that's the thing, just like you said, overanalyzing everything. So, I mean, I'm thinking what possible objections, everything that could have gone wrong with this call went wrong.
Yeah. Tell them how everything, like it literally, all the things I'm like, hey, make sure to not do this. All of that stuff, it ended up happening because this business owner, just weird situation. Tell them all the wrong stuff so they can realize like, you don't got to overthink this stuff.
Yeah. So I feel like I did most of the setup correctly, followed everything in the training, did the setup correctly. By the time I'm trying to get to this Zoom meeting, I had to do multiple pullbacks, found out my business owner is just really shitty at answering his phone. Try to get him behind a computer, doesn't have a computer. And so I'm like, okay, well, we'll scratch that. We're going to go with the phone. So try to get him on the call. He's 45 minutes late, jumps on the phone, hasn't watched my, the stuff that I've sent him because all he's got's a phone. Yeah, we finally get on the call and his microphone's not working. So I'm sitting here trying to read his lips. So finally I call him on the phone. So I got phone audio and then I'm using my Zoom meeting and it's just an absolute shit show. He's sitting at his house, his wife's in the background. Like it was just, yeah, if something could have gone wrong, it did. And I thought there was going to be some objections, especially where he was so bad at technology, he doesn't own a computer. I was thinking maybe the price was going to be the issue, but yeah, go through the whole thing, explained everything well to him, and go to drop price. He kind of looked over at his old lady and I thought, oh shit, he's going to object to this. And he had been paying for Angie's leads and we kind of talked about those. I harped a lot on what he's getting for those and how basically that's a waste, and dropped the price and he had zero objections. I mean, all he had after was a question about the amount of leads that, I thought I could produce for him. So I was kind of shocked that he didn't have objections. And then I dropped, when he told me he was a MasterCard guy, I had to basically pick up my jaw off the floor. So
that's the best part is and then what he's talking about for those that maybe are new to this call is one of the things that I always like to joke about is when you go for the close, instead of saying, hey, you want to do it and asking a yes, no, it's a terrible idea. You just assume the deal and say, hey, are you an Amex or Visa? Let me grab your card. Let's do this thing. Right. And so he's referring to that. And guys, it's crazy how many times I've heard this exact same story. And you do it, and all of a sudden they're like, "Yeah, I'm a MasterCard," and you're like, "What?" And you like try to ask questions. You're almost fumbling the deal, and it's because you didn't expect it. You almost anticipate all this pushback. So, for those out there that think that this is like some crazy rocket science, guys, you follow the steps, you send the leads, and out the other side pops a deal. Like it's like clockwork. And so anyway, the whole point of this thing is I want to, like, for those that are overthinkers, dude, I remember you asked between asking me and Porter, how long did it take you to decide a niche, dude? Like 2 months?
yeah, well, once I finally decided, it was a lot quicker, but I think I was telling you I was looking when really I was probably dragging my feet, overanalyzing, a little bit of self-doubt, that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So once I actually started looking and did the training, I don't think it was, too difficult, but it was just actually pulling the trigger on this is what I need to do.
And then I remember, but so you chose the niche, and then it was like, well, then you kind of drug your feet. And I'm only sharing this like because I know that the next deal you're not going to overthink it as much, and it's part of who you are, and it can be really good, it can be really bad. But then when you chose the city, then it's like, oh, now we're overanalyzing this. And I remember you're like, what do you think about this? I'm like, I checked it out. I'm like, dude, it looks great. Send it, And you did, and lo and behold, you got a deal. So I think a lot of times those that are over analyzers is, yes, they're analytical, but like, I think you hit it perfectly. It's like a lot of times there's like that self-doubt. And so, what do you think, like, is there anything that you can share other than just the sheer advice of like, you just got to do it and be okay if it doesn't work? Is there any other advice for people that are, because dude, I think there's more over analyzers than there are not. I think that's more the rule than the exception.
Right.
That's why I really want to talk about this. And, there's people on this call right now. They've been watching these lives for a year. They've been peeping this group just to watch me spit all over myself or whatever for the last 6 months. And they're still like, haven't done a deal, haven't built a website, so scared they're going to go into the wrong city, spend $1 any advice there for over analyzer types?
Honestly, the hard thing is in the area where I shoot myself in the foot is I look back and I think, man, if I would have actually been doing this, just like you talked about with Porter, if I'd have been doing this for the last 90 days or, year and a half, as long as I've known about it, I would have, where could I be? So obviously that kind of stuff sucks, but yeah, I think ultimately mine unfortunately had to come through decisions that happened at work and things with the 9 to 5 that finally pushed me to the point where I was like, okay, I'm done fucking around. I need to, get this done. And so that was kind of my thing. But yeah, I think for the people that are worried about imposter syndrome or, self-doubt, I think you just need to trust the process. Like that's the only way you're going to overcome that, is by trusting the process. I kind of, one of the things that I did that shot myself in the foot, but it helped me overcome it, is I just sent him a couple more leads. You know what I mean? So I ran ads for a little bit longer than necessary, longer than I'll run ever again. But it kind of gave me a little bit more confidence in my ability to actually be able to produce the leads, because that's kind of a fear for us that overanalyze or have imposter syndrome, is you're telling this person that you're going to be doing something that you've never done before. And so it is hard. It's like, am I going to be able to do it? Am I going to fall flat on my face? Am I going to be lying to this guy? And no one wants to be that guy. So I think if you are struggling with that, start it, get it going, and then maybe send them a couple more leads if that's a huge concern. But yeah, there's zero reason to drag your feet like I did.
Here's what I always think about, because, I get on calls, well, more Kyle, but like I've been popping in a few calls here and there with people that want to join digital landlords, and, they get in, they're interested, like, what does it have to offer? What does it look like? And we always like to ask this question, and it's the thing I'm always thinking. And I want to talk about what you just said about with your 9 to 5 is like, if you don't jump into this business model, what's the alternative, right? And I think right now people are finally starting to wake up, like, yo, I'm not that secure at my gig. I've been putting in, there's a guy, I've shared this story a couple of times. I think I told you this, dude. I had somebody call me last week, been plugging away at Amazon. It's not like somebody that works at the distribution center, dude. This is like high level software engineer executive, just got his ass fired because they're doing layoffs. Like, I promise you, your company, they care about you. I don't want to offend anyone, but they care about you until it takes money out of the executives' pockets. Nobody's here to save you. Nobody cares about you as much as you do. So talk about that a little bit, as how like your plan, and it's not like you're going to immediately jump out of that gig because you love that stuff, but what's your thought process of like building something so that you have a nice, basically a way to transition to something else in case something happens, or if you decide enough is enough?
Right. So yeah, that kind of leads into a few of the problems that or I guess concerns I've been having with the 9 to 5. I mean, I see you over here and you get to make your own schedule. I mean, you put in a shit ton of hours, but you're ultimately your own boss, and that's something that I've always struggled with, the authority, being told what to do.
You don't say, bud. By the way, this just sorry to cut you off. Don't forget where we're at. This is the most uncoachable human on the planet right here, dude. You should have seen the gray hairs this kid gave our father. I hope he watches this. He would not listen. He would not listen. Keep going.
Yeah, but so that was always a concern. And the other thing was, we would go through these negotiations, and it's like, we're basically pleading with the city, hey, make my time more valuable, and so it sucks when you're sitting there, you can put in as much work as you want, but if the city doesn't think that you're worth more money, guess what? You don't bring home more money, and so that was always a concern. And something that you brought up there is like, you don't know necessarily where you're going to be in 20 years or whatever, but I do, because I see these officers that are retiring that have put in 20, 25 years, and they're going to be receiving, 65% of their top 3 years. And so they're sitting there, every single one of them without fail retires, receives the pension, and then has to go get another job, and so that's the crazy thing. I mean, yeah, not only layoffs, but like even just staying in the company, growth. It's like, if there's not spots to open, you're not growing. So it's super limiting. And I think the longer that you stay in it, the more trapped you are, And so, yeah, I guess ultimately what changed my mind was, not really changed my mind, but I guess pushed me to start it was, I got my whole schedule changed, literally opposite ends of the week, working, every day that I wasn't before. And now I'm on graveyard. So literally, as far as you can change my schedule, it gets changed. And I mean, I got 2 little girls. And so that's the hard thing for me, is I'm sitting there thinking, this is screwing up my, my time with my girls. And that's the most important thing to me. And so that was kind of a driving factor. And as soon as I heard that, that was what pushed me. And I was like, you know what, I got to get out. And so, yeah, my plan is to sell enough of these to where I can cover that. And I have a good job. I get paid days off and everything like that. But your company, like you said, your company appreciates you and values you so long as it's not an inconvenience to them. But I promise you, realistically, they don't give a fuck about you.
No.
That's the truth of it, So
And you said something really good, and I want to highlight is whatever you're doing right now, if you want to see what that looks like, look at the people. You said I'm looking at these people that are doing this that retired. These are guys that are retired. Like, look at the people in your company. What are they doing right now after they're retired? What are the majority of them doing? Are they picking up second jobs? Are they barely eking by? Are they having to go package meat at the grocery store? It's like, dude, if you're gonna, this is my whole theory on anything in life, right? And there's that quote that they say on Lone Survivor, like anything worth doing is worth overdoing. It's like, if you're gonna do it, if we have to work, I can't remember if it's like a third of our lives spent working, why not spend it with something that has the most upside? And with that, it also needs, and again, we talk about assets, we talk about something that pays us passively, something that we can continue to grow and that we can separate our time and money. Why would I spend my time that I can't get back trading my time for dollars instead of spending that time building assets that can stack and can pay me every single month? So anyway, I think that's the rule, not the exception. I think a lot of people in here have full-time jobs, and it's crazy, bro. You're still young. What are you, 29, almost 30?
Yep.
29 is gonna be 30 in May. And it's like, he's at least, and some of you guys are like, man, that's not that old, dude. And I don't care if you're 60 and it's just occurring to you. Don't spend another day not like actively building assets, right? And that's what's cool about this model is we're not saying, hey, get out of this and start doing copywriting where you're just going to trade your time for dollars. Yes, you can set your own schedule. Yes, you can work from anywhere theoretically, but you're still trading your time for dollars. This is asset based. This is recurring. There's so many things that this model actually gets into. So no, that's super valuable, dude. And guys, by the way, here in just a second, we're going to be opening this up for Q&A. Those of you that are in 9-to-5s that have questions related to that, those of you that are overthinkers, analytical, that kind of a thing, any questions related to that, any general questions that you guys want to ask, get ready to fire those in. We're going to have a few minutes of Q&A. But yeah, so, okay, how are you able to, and I know you have kind of a cool gig because you get to work a few days, then you have a few days off. But the thing is, people don't realize, like Jeff, who's in our group, the firefighter, Jeff, if anyone knows him, it's like, yeah, you have 3 days, but dude, you have such bad hours that so you feel like sleeping the days that you're not working, right? So how do you get motivated? And I know it's really easy to let days and weeks slip by and you're like, crap, I haven't done it. But how do you get motivated to go and spend your time building something when you're like, man, I just did 40 hours in 3 days. I'm ready to take a break.
Yeah. No, that's the big thing is, we have to have those schedules just because of what you're going through, how emotionally and physically taxing it is on the days that you're working. Like you said, by the time you get off, you're just freaking wanting to drink and not think about anything. You know what I mean? So that is a hard thing, but I will say once you get started and just tasting it and seeing a lead come in or a business owner on the hook, as soon as you start progressing, it's addicting, it's the snowball effect. And so that was kind of the hard thing for me too. Cause like you said, days, weeks, they go by so quick. And I remember getting texts from you like, hey, where are you at with this? And I dread those texts because I'm like, I'm still sitting there with my thumb up my ass is what I'm doing. And so once you finally start doing it, it just becomes addicting. But it sucks that we have to get, as humans, we have to get to this point of I've hit my rope, the end of my rope before we actually start to make a change, and just like you said, one of the things that I liked from Robert O'Neill, the guy that killed Osama bin Laden, is he says, I'm the oldest today as I've ever been, but the youngest that I'll ever be, and so that was something I really like that quote as well, because yeah, I wish I could have started a year ago. I wish I would have taken it serious. I'd be out of law enforcement. I'd be, who knows what I could be making, but I'm glad I started now. You know what I mean? So yeah, I think just getting started and tasting it. Put yourself, I almost got to the point where I thought about quitting my job and creating urgency just so I would stop being complacent. And so it's hard because you want it so bad, but then you're also like, you got this self-doubt or this, I'm being lazy on my days off. And I don't know. I don't know the true answer to that.
Yeah, and it's hard because that's why we always talk about comfort really does kill. People that are making nothing, and it's like they're so strapped that like they're eating tuna fish 2 meals a day. Those people are in a better spot than the people making, 5-6 grand a month. Because when you're making 5, 6, even 8 grand a month, dude, with inflation right now, you're in this spot where like your bills are paid, you can go on a trip here and there, but it's like you can't actually live the life that you want to live. You're still having to be conscious about what you want to, what you buy and what you drive. And it's like it's this weird spot where you kind of get numb. And me and Cowboy Kyle, we talk about this all the time too. It's like that's the most dangerous spot in the world, is being comfortable. But I think the cure to that, because people go, well, how do you make sure to not? I think the cure to that is to get around people who are making a lot more money, who are living a different life. And all of a sudden you're like, oh shit, man, I could have a lot more if I were to do things a little bit differently. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah. And that's kind of what it came down to for me as well. I mean, seeing how many family trips have I missed, Thanksgiving or whatever, because I'm working. It's like, dude, I just can't afford to not go in or whatever. And so complacency was one of the biggest problems for me as well, because you get comfortable. Like I'm comfortable and I get my bills paid for. I've got insurance. I get paid time off, like pretty secure job. I mean, I had it good, there's people out there that have a lot less security and comfort than I have. But I, like you said, I would see you going on these trips. I would see the things that you could do with the money. And ultimately my decision came down to like, how's it fair for me not to try and provide that kind of lifestyle for my kids, where they never have to go without. And obviously there's life lessons to be learned in those areas. But I mean, so it kind of comes down to my motivations, my girls, and so.
That's cool. And then that's a whole topic we could talk about with your why and everything there. But I think that's the mentality you have to have, is like, if I ever look at somebody, and that's what kind of just for me a couple of years ago kind of pissed me off, is I started like, I was like, why am I, if I see somebody else driving a car that I want, like, why should they, and I'm not saying like they don't deserve it, but if they can get it, why the heck can't I? And if like, why am I bringing a peanut butter and jelly sandwich into Disneyland? And why am I trying to look at the cheapest hotel? Like if they can get it, I can get it. And so sometimes you just have to get pissed off and go, okay, enough's enough. I'm tired. And I've asked this rhetorical question to everyone in the group before. It's like, how many more trips do you have to miss? How many more times of telling your kids you can't go on the trip do you have to do? How many more times do you have to buy the off-brand dog shit peanut butter before you're like, okay, let's pony up here. We're done with this life and let's live a higher life. And it's like, it's worse than being uncomfortable on a sales call, being broke, right? That's the ultimate thing right there. So anyway, dope, dude. All right, let's see if we got any questions. Let's answer those. I'm going to go into this really quick. Hold on one sec. Let me mute this. Oh, Facebook reminded me I'm restricted. Thanks, Zucks. You freaking alien, dude. I think Zuck's a lizard, dude. Freaking dude. Okay. Let's see what we got here. Isaac says, by the way, guys, if you have questions, ask them now. And I'm going to ask the ultimate question. In fact, guys, the real question is, who is going to get to 50K quicker out of Porter and Zack? That's the real question. And I think Porter is actually at my house right now. Listen to this, probably just chuckling. Okay. Let's see what we got. Gentry Julian, what's up, bro? I haven't heard from you in a minute. Glad to see you in the group. He said the brothers magic. Amazing, dude. Todd Bonner. Okay. Isaac says, I'm super over analytical. I'm a business analyst, dude. Of course you are, bro. That's what you're paid to do. I'm a business analyst in my profession. How do you stay focused on the money-making actions and stop from going down rabbit holes? This is a great question for Zack to answer, because he is Mr. Rabbit Hole. I can't answer this because I'm not really like that. I'm just like, yep, just do it, and then I'll deal with the consequences later. And so I'm going to have you answer that question. But anyone that has any questions for Zack, me, or we could even pull Porter in here to answer a question. But if you have questions, drop them in right now, because we're going to be ending this if there's no questions. So Zack, how do you answer that. I'm over analytical. How do you stay focused on money making, aka sales actions, and stop from going down rabbit holes? Because I know you tend to do that.
Oh yeah. So that's one of the things actually, you had originally sent me over to one of the groups that I'm sure a lot of these people have been in, or a lot of your, students have been in. But one of the big things for me was I saw this, it was such a drawn out process. It's like, hey, if you start doing this for 6 months, you might make money, and so it was so easy for me to like overanalyze that kind of stuff. But when I got into your actual program and being able to see how you flip the whole model on its head, and it's like, dude, money in your bank account isn't that far out. You know what I mean? So that really helped me. Like, it made it easier. But yeah, just catching myself, like I'll be told, hey, go get on CallRail or whatever. And so I'll get on CallRail, and then I'll spend 2 hours trying to figure out everything with CallRail, and like I'll analyze that. And I just catch myself. And that's, so you almost have to get into a program or a situation where someone's just telling you, hey, this is the best option, like trust it. You know what I mean? And obviously you're still going to have certain times where you want to like look into it yourself, but having a more complete roadmap really helps you from straying off of these, like, well, I got to look in between 3 different programs of how to figure out search volume, and so it's nice for an analytical person to have someone tell you, I've done it, this is what works for me. And you just kind of have to let your analytical side go to the wind, and it goes against everything you believe in, or your wiring, but it really helped to have a roadmap. So
I'll make sure to Venmo you after for the plug. Thanks, bud. No, I think it's important. It's like, and the reason why that is, it's not just that like I'm the only one that has a program, but what he's saying is like, by getting around somebody that's telling you, hey, the money's not over there, get out of there, stay focused on this, just do this thing, quit spending time on CallRail and Mangools and whatever. Like, you don't need to overthink it, just do it. It's kind of the same concept of like getting around people that are making more money makes you make more money. So for those of you that are like, well, I don't have any money, that's fine. Get around people who are doing deals, get around people who are making money in this business if possible, and find ways to add value to them. If that's not an option for you right now, that's totally fine. But you have to change something. That's the thing I've learned. You want to change an area of your life, whether it's physical, spiritual, mental, financial, you got to change something. If you keep doing what you've always done, you're going to keep getting what you've always got. And so it's crazy that we keep doing the same stuff year after year. And we're like, shit, man, I'm still overweight, or, oh, I'm still broke, or, oh, I still, whatever it is. And we keep doing the same things and expecting a different outcome. I'm also at fault for that. So, okay. Mylan says, actually, real quick, this is kind of a random one. Shane asks, do you know Ross Stratton?
oh yeah, I worked with Ross quite a bit. I my first year and a half, Ross and I were on Graves. So yeah, I'm pretty close with Ross.
Shane is lives in actually Logandale, but I think he went to school in actually I think he went to school in Wappa, but yeah, he lives in Mesquite right now, I think. Or no, he lives in Logandale. But anyway, Shane is the man, guys. I always give Shane a shout out. Shane went from owned a carpet cleaning company to, I think he's at between 8 and 10K right now. I don't know the exact number, and he's putting in work. This is going to be his year. He's cranking. Okay. So let me ask Mylan's question really quick. It says, what is the maximum amount of keywords you should use in a Google Ads campaign? I'll actually answer this one because I've done this 100 times and it's an easy answer. I use around 8. So I use smart campaigns. I use around 8. If I can find 10, I'll use 10. I don't use any more than that. Okay, easy answer there. Gentry Julian says, I am overthinking about choosing a city and a niche. By the way, Gentry Julian, he grew up in Cedar City, Utah. Me and Zack and Porter are from Parowan. So we would always like play basketball against each other. We know each other from way back. So good to have you on here, dude. He says, I'm overthinking about choosing a city and niche. Zack, what was one thing you did to finally pull the trigger? These questions are so good because it's so money for what you struggle with. What was the one thing you did to finally pull the trigger on your first step?
I think I kind of kept you informed with it, but I had done market research, or the research, the due diligence on multiple cities, and I had pretty good ones looking at it now. but I finally got to the point where I was never going to find the perfect city. You know what I mean? Like you can get as close as possible, but if your mind's analytical, there's no perfect city. You're always going to find a little something. So I think what it was for me is I finally told you, dude, I'm going to build this. I'm going to try and sell it, and I'm just going to go for it. And if the worst case scenario, I'm going to learn something from it. And so, and I knew it would work, but I just had to tell myself that I'm doing it regardless. And I'm just gonna, it's a learning experience if I don't get it. But either way, I'm gonna have learned to get a business owner on hook. I'm gonna learn to have sent leads over, live transfers, Google ads, everything. And so it was gonna be a win either way for me. So
that's good advice. Yeah, you're going to make mistakes, Gentry, and anyone else listening. You're going to choose the wrong city. You're going to choose the wrong niche. Guys, I'm the king of choosing the wrong stuff. I chose 200 of the wrong cities and niches. I've spent $1.3 million on ads. I have a failed software business with somebody who I ended up finding out was addicted to drugs. Like, I've made all the mistakes. So I'm not saying that, like, for me, where I'm like, oh, just do. That's not always helpful, because it ends you up $60,000 in debt sometimes, but it also can really put you in a good spot. So there's pros and cons to no matter what type of person you are. But I think that's really sound advice. You're going to make a mistake. Quit worrying about it. Just count it as a lesson. And dude, also, Gentry, shoot me a message, man. I'm happy if you have a city niche, shoot me, Zack, a message. You can hit Porter up, and we're happy to look at it and let you know if we would personally go into it as well. Isaac said that was gold, by the way, to that comment. We got a couple more really good ones. Somebody just asked a question. I better not have missed that. They said, I got to read this. Okay. Spencer Jordan. Nothing. That's what he said. By the way, Spencer Jordan, I was just talking with Ryan about you. He has great things to say about you. Him and Ryan live, I think you're in Memphis, if I'm not mistaken. He says, nothing like a daughter to motivate you. I looked at my daughter and thought, quote, she deserves more, and signed up. So my question is, how do you manage the time it takes to build your assets to set your kids' future while also giving them enough attention now? Yeah, how are you managing that with your kids and everything else? Because I know that, like, you're really good at spending time and being present with your kids. I'm not as much like that, but yeah, how do you do that?
yeah, so I mean, to give a little preface to this, I have, as Nick would call it, baby mama drama. And so I get my kids every weekend, and I mean, it takes up a lot of time. But one of the things that helped me was listening to the book Win. I think it was Win. What's his other one?
Who are you talking about? Who's this?
The trainer for Kobe
Bryant.
Bryant.
Winning. Oh, you're talking about Winning. Tim Grover, Limitless.
Yeah. So I think it was Winning. But anyway, he goes in there, or maybe it was an interview, and I'll find it and I'll send it to you. But
I know exactly what you're talking about. This is a good story. Tell him.
Yeah. He said his daughter basically like came to him one day and was like, hey dad, like, why are you always gone? Or can you stay? And dad, he basically told him, like, I got to go do this so I can make money and build a future for us. And the daughter like goes and gets her piggy bank and like tries to give him money, and is like, hey, if I pay for, if I give you my money, can I have more time with you, basically, like, so you don't have to work so much. And that like really clicked with me, because that's the way I see it. I see it as, if I'm spending time working, it's me being a bad dad. But really, you have to think of a long term. I would rather bust my ass now, and there's a happy medium, but I'd rather bust my ass now and spend every second I can when they're asleep, when they're, even when they're here, get them playing, let them, do that kind of stuff, and getting the work done, because I'm trying to build a future for them. I think that you can do both is the thing.
Yeah.
So
that's good advice. And that's a heart-wrenching story. It's what he said. I listened to further, like, an interview. I think I don't know who he was telling the story to, but he even said on the interview, he's like, I wish I could sit here and tell you that when she said that, I, unpacked my stuff and we went and got ice cream. He's like, but I didn't. I kept packing. And I think that's what you got to remember is, like, I think there's a happy medium. It's not like that, there's a happy medium. I'll just say that. And I'm not the guy to give advice, because I'm very not happy medium in anything. So that's why I think that was a good for you to answer, not me. Zack, our Porter says, a good question. I like this one. He says, what was the most satisfying part about closing your business owner?
I think the most satisfying part was getting rid of all the doubts I had before, so like, as soon as you close that first business owner, all the doubts of like, is this possible? Can I do it? all that stuff. And of course you have new concerns coming forward, like, okay, now I got to start producing even more, keeping him, all that kind of stuff. But I think the most satisfying thing was knowing that, holy shit, all that work that I just did that I question myself on, I actually am capable of it. So it gets rid of all your doubts.
It's such a dude. There's nothing. The unfortunate part, you just got, that's the best deal you're ever going to get. No matter, dude, getting that first passive income, I'm here to tell you, it feels better. My first $100, because I used to do pay per lead and not flat fee when I was still a brokey and I didn't know what I was talking about and I didn't know what I was doing. That first $100 I made playing golf felt better than making $1 million. My first $1 million. There's something about it. So yeah, for those of you that are doubting and like, can I do this? Is it, you know, I see Nick doing, I see Zach, I see Porter, I see Ryan, I see Kyle, I see whoever it is. Can I, once you get that first deal, it's like everything's eliminated and it's almost like, oh my gosh, there's not something wrong with me, right? So it's like that self-doubt, I think is how you put it. It's really good. Jalen says, Nick, I was struggling with not getting as many leads as I think I should have been getting. I think it's my landing page I created that needs to be improved. Jalen, if you're getting clicks and you're not getting leads, it's your landing page. Or it could be that you're getting the wrong type of clicks. One of those two things, right? You could be sending the wrong people to your landing page. Like, let's say, for example, you have a keyword, maybe you get the wrong keyword and you're doing like DIY concrete and you got freaking DIY guy in, let's call him Hal. You know what I'm saying? Z44, call him Hal over there wanting to do DIY concrete. He's not looking for a quote. He's looking for ready mix, right? So it's either, you could either be sending the wrong traffic, which would be your keywords, or it could be your ad copy, or your landing page is not converting. But most likely, if you're sticking to the main keywords and you're using your brain, it's probably going to be your landing page. So I think you already know the answer to that. So go check it out. Compare it to what you see. Guys, don't overthink the landing page. I do have my landing page. I share it inside my program and show exactly how to do it. But guys, I learned how to build that from trial and error, from spending $1 million plus on ads. This is an easy, quick answer. Ryan King, what tool do you use to give you the most accurate PPC amount when trying to find the sub $5 per click? You can tell them. What do you use?
Say that again. Sorry.
What tool do you use for CPC?
Oh, I use SEMrush.
Yep. So you use SEMrush as well. And guys, that's not the only tool. It's not the best tool. It's just what I've used. And so I used it when I created the training. So a lot of people use it. And I told Zach to use it. So it's like, you can use anything. Again, the thing you got to remember, make sure to use the same tool over and over and over. But I do like SEMrush. It is a little bit more on the expensive side. I think it's like $99 a month, but dude, go get a couple buddies and split it and whatever. Like, I'm not trying to be an affiliate for it. Just go get 3-4 people in the group and you guys share it, whatever. Right. Okay. I think we got like 1 or 2 more and then we're good. Kurt, there is not a perfect niche, city, or time to start. Just do it. Congrats, Zach. Thank you, Kurt. That was a cool message to Zach. And then Carlos says, this is a good last question. This will be our last question, unless something pops up that really just tickles the old fancy. Carlos says, if the business owner has not given you an average price for his jobs, how do you go about this? This is something that we were talking about a couple of days ago when I was sitting in the old hot tub and you were about to close this deal.
Yeah. So fortunately my guy did, but the funny thing is I didn't even use the numbers that he gave me. So I don't really think it's that relevant what as far as his average job. So you kind of just go off of the niche. So if you're using concrete, I use the average of 5,000, and you can ask anyone that's in any of these niches what they've used to plug in numbers. But I think the other thing is just when you're explaining that, just saying, hey, I'm going to put the ticket price at $5,000 because that's what the average job is, so it doesn't matter if he wants to argue with you and say, no, mine's 3,000, then, that's kind of on him, but it's almost a pride thing that they're not going to argue with that because you're calling it an average job, So,
and my suggestion on that whole thing is like, just guess low, like if they tell you $4,000, just say, hey, look, I know it probably is $4,000, but you know what? Let's say that it's only $2,000, because the last thing you guys want to do, guys, we're not here to make $1 and then lose the client. We want to build business. You guys heard me talk at the beginning of this. I have a customer that literally he's in his head. He is ready to be with me for the next 3 years. He's already planning on staying with me for the next 3 years. We want people that want to stay with us. They want to grow with us. They want to expand with us. And if you oversell the deal, you may think you're getting away with murder, but I promise you, you're shooting yourself in the foot, because you're going to now spend your time trying to retain it. So if you don't know the average ticket, ask in this group, and I would just say always err on the low side. If I could say that. In fact, I did just say that. So there you go. Okay, guys, I'm going to share one last thing. I just dropped a link because I don't talk about it that much, but I know a lot of people like search and they search and they search, and I'm going to make it easy for you guys. Anybody that's looking for the blueprint of how to do this quickly, how to go fast, we have our program, Digital Landlords, which is every single time I jump on these calls, it's always somebody from our Digital Landlords program that's followed the training. You don't have to buy it. You don't need to buy it. Is there information on the internet that you can go and find and get deals? Yes, but it comes down to what is your time worth and how fast do you need to make money, want to make money. So if you are interested in jumping into that, getting the full blueprint, the scripts, the niches, the whole thing, getting all of it, then apply there. We'll be in contact if you qualify, and we will schedule a call to show you the program. Other than that, guys, quick reminder, next Wednesday, we are going to be giving away a MacBook on the live call. On this call at 4:30, we're going to be choosing a lucky winner. We're going to get them a MacBook. We will be literally purchasing it right as soon as the call is finished. We're going to be doing an amazing training next Wednesday. You'll be getting more information on that. And as always, Monday, 10 a.m. MST, I'm going to be going live on YouTube with my show, Making Hay with Dre, which is digital real estate. That is going to be Monday, 10 a.m. MST. If you guys aren't subscribed, I don't give a shit. I'm not there for the numbers. I just want to continue to provide content and value. So, Zach, appreciate you, bro. And let's go get that next deal.
Okay.
All right, bro. See ya.
See ya.